There's a pretty big difference between a toy and production tools, and for the longest time, all the little lens attachments that they've had for phones they've been fun. They've been fun. The 16 mils have been great. The telephotos, which are typically what I prefer, were okay at best. But this that you're looking at in front of you, this is a proper production tool. Hey everyone, my name is Omar. Welcome to the channel where I have a new episode every Wednesday. I've already used it on 2 paid jobs and I've used it on a couple of my YouTube videos. I bought this thing back in 2018, 2019. You learn quickly when you pick it up that there's a big tax that comes with buying this, and that tax is in the form of you need like a ton of lights and sliders and whatnot. And that's not any different today. And if you want to use the light here, the light that is not properly color balanced, I don't know what they were thinking, you have to connect it to an external power source. This isn't a review of the lens, it's super niche, but if you want to see a review of the lens in comparison, let me know in the comments below. This solved that problem. Sort of, like in theory it did, but the problem is that it actually is trash. Like Sandmarc did a phenomenal job with this lens, with the exception of this light, because it reflects off this outer lens here and makes the image completely unusable. So if you're going somewhere really dark, you are just going to have to use the light on top of it or account for it some other way. It's amazing to see how far the phone lens ecosystem has gone, but not even just the attachments and the products, but also the software, the apps. The fact this has a log profile from factory, the fact it can shoot Apple ProRes. And then when you get into the Blackmagic app, forget about it. Now you're not going to be shooting pro sports video with this thing, but if you're doing composite videography, which is what a lot of product videography is these days, I personally am going to have a hard time making a case for having a purchase like this over something like this. Obviously the image quality on this one's going to be a lot easier, but as a solo operator, this is a lot more manageable. With something as specialized as this, which again is just really crazy that we have something this specialized in the mobile space now, the perspective that this provides is what's important, not the image quality. This wasn't supposed to be the video this week. I had a much longer video reviewing all my Fujifilm gear, but I don't want to rush the edit. I'm onboarding a new client and I'm relaunching another client's YouTube channel, and it's been a hectic 2 weeks. So if you want to see a very Fuji heavy video next week, I have something very special in store for it. New episode every Wednesday. I'm committing to that. We've had a good 2 months so far. Now again, this is a short video, but I do want to send a message out because we're heading into Prime Day and Black Friday and Cyber Monday and all this holiday spending. Chances are if you're watching my video, you're probably looking to spend some money in the next couple of weeks. And a lot of others are going to be convinced that they absolutely have to in order to progress their career, which in some cases is true. In a lot of cases, especially for beginners, not the case. Arguments to be made for photo, unless you're doing product photography, you can get pretty far with product photography on a phone. But video, even something as complex as product videography, I actually have full confidence that I can do entire shoots with my phone. And again, image quality, it's always going to be better with a proper camera. No matter how bad people want to point to phone footage and say, can you see the difference? You can always spot the difference, and then how you work with the files is always going to be different. But being able to buy a few accessories that you can resell to anyone with any phone that are going to be a lot easier to resell than buying a cinema camera and expensive lens for a few $1,000s is definitely what I recommend to a lot of people these days. And even I personally use my phone for a lot these days. So we really are past the point of social media clickbait. I mean, you're definitely, don't get me wrong, you're definitely going to see that clickbait around on the internet. It drives me nuts. The Blackmagic app was probably the biggest update to phone cinematography for as long as I can remember, because it introduces all the same tools that the Canon R5C has in the cinema menu, and it's on your phone and it's for free. Blackmagic pretty much put every other premium video camera app out of business just by releasing that. And again, I've used it on work and I've used it on this channel over the last couple of videos too. If you go back and watch the episode with the 24-105, I actually used this lens for a lot of B-roll just because I wanted to get more time with it before actually doing a full setup with lighting and products and everything. Which again, if there are enough people that want to see me do a mock product shoot using my phone or anything, let me know in the comments below and I'll put it in queue. If you're enjoying this impromptu yap session, go ahead and like and subscribe. We nerd out quite a bit here. Back to the messaging, what I want people to pivot from is getting equipment and focus on their skill set. Because your skill set is really the thing that differentiates you, along with your soft skills and your ability to communicate with clients. Sorry, introverts, I'm an introvert myself, but you do have to go out and talk to people if you want to break out of the corporate world and do this stuff for a living. I know we have Prime Day coming up. Really think about saving your money and maybe see if there's a deal on editing software instead. That's really where a lot of people fall apart when it comes to delivering a final package package. We're largely at the end of age of specialization outside of traditional sets. You do, like, gradually, yes, you can get to a point where you outsource your edits or your coloring or whatever the case is, but in the beginning, you need your overhead low and you need to start making some profit right off the bat if you're going to do this stuff for a living, and that means that the production house is you. Not even gonna lie, I feel like listing this one up for sale now because this is just a lot easier to use. And also, just to show you how crazy phones have gotten, this is a wireless monitor, so I can cast the screen onto this. I don't have to have cables running from here to a monitor, and I can just watch it and make sure that the perspective is good, make sure I don't need any alignments without rewatching the footage afterwards. And of course, much lighter, much lighter, which means you can use smaller sliders, which also makes it less susceptible to vibration on sliders. And that's a huge problem with this lens. And I'm sorry, the only reason I'm talking about these is because these are so highly specialized. Everyone is used to like just the regular stuff that you can do. But I'm telling you, we're past the point of where it's a toy or it's something you use until you can afford something like this. This is a production tool. 350 bucks. You don't need the handle. I like the grip here though because it allows me to offset it. This is like another 100 bucks. And they make like a $10 case for pretty much any flagship phone. This is what accessibility in the new age looks like for professional video work. Not the most in-depth episode this week, but we did make that Wednesday post schedule. So thanks for bearing with me, and I'll catch you next week.